Matthew Lee, Intercity Press. On behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access, thanks for the briefing. And I'd like to encourage both of your departments or successor departments to speak more at the stakeout. I think it's really useful to have the peacekeepers' voice heard there. I wanted to ask, actually, it was just what you were talking about, Mr. Khare, about sexual exploitation and abuse. Just to understand, just a sample case, the case in WOW in South Sudan, it was said yesterday from this podium right here that there was a finding that some number of the 46 of the Foreign Police Unit had engaged in sexual exploitation in WOW. But it wasn't said how many, which is not forgetting even like the names or whatever in terms of due process. But can you say what the extent in that unit which was repatriated? And I also, if you can explain, there's a headline in the Ghanaian press today saying that all 46 are back on their posts, resuming duties. And what do you expect to have happen, given what you found? And for Mr. Lacroix, I wanted to ask you about vetting again. One is, I keep getting messages from Sri Lanka about messages they've sent to you about the, quote, unvetted unit. And then it was said, again from this podium, that there's an additional tier of vetting. But people there said there was no vet. I mean, maybe they've misunderstood, but that there was no initial tier. And in the case of since you were last here, in Cameroon, the army, now the country team has put in some questions to the government because evidence and photos and videos have emerged of the burning of villages, the putting of bodies into essentially a mass grave. It seems like there are some. It's not clear to me whether this is a different unit of the Cameroonian military than the one that becomes deployed. How does, in real time, video footage seen by a country team in a country of an army engaging in those acts play into actually figuring out who is being deployed in CAR, Mali, or anywhere else? Thanks a lot.
Okay, let me start with the Ghanaian FPU. I would not consider it a sample case. There are every case is, I would say, an exceptional case, an egregious case, but stands on its own. Here, the issue which has been discovered after OIOS investigations is that, and this is not the figure of those who were found guilty, because that will be done by the judicial system. That will not be done by OIOS. So I will not give the figures of OIOS because that is neither here nor there. But a number which is less than 10 has been found to have indulged in transactional sex in WOW. We are sharing this report. The report is on my table. We are sharing this report with the Ghanaian authorities formally today. And I would expect that after the report, they will undertake their own investigations and then follow the due judicial process for whatever is the number to be taken and to be pursued for criminal accountability. I will, of course, not comment on the Ghanaian press. I mean, that you would appreciate. But I would expect that all countries will take their due responsibilities to ensure that there is criminal accountability for cases of sexual exploitation and abuse, including transactional sex. One brief word also on the issue of screening, and we do screening on conduct and discipline, as you know. And this screening on conduct and discipline is being done now for close to, in fact, this year we have done screening of nearly close to 6,000 people. But the screening is for conduct and discipline in prior employment with the UN, which is a different question than what you are asking.
Yes, just to complement, we had agreed with Sri Lanka, I think in 2016, additional screening measures whereby the government, together with the Sri Lankan Human Rights Commission, would undertake the human rights screening of Sri Lankan personnel proposed for deployment. And what happened currently is we're working in cooperation with the government of Sri Lanka. Actually, Atul and I are in regular contact with the mission here, with the permanent representative, to ensure that the domestic screening process will be put in place and will fully comply. I mean, will be strengthened actually, and so that it fully complies with the requirements of our policy in human rights screening of UN personnel.
Okay, we have time for two final questions. First, Mushfiq Al-Fazl.